Welcome everyone to season 3, episode 10. 10.
Man, we got to start. We got to go back and figure out like episode number, blah blah blah.
I still have the 10 clip though.
I gave it a 10, a fucking 10.
Nice, there you go.
Farsi Bliss. 10.
I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm sure we've done like 100 episodes, right?
I can go tell you exactly how many. Hold on.
We've got to be at 100, right?
This is episode number 75.
We're not at 100. Okay.
No.
Oh wow.
This episode 75.
Oh my goodness. Because I was like, we're going on 2 years, right? But I guess not.
We took a lot of breaks.
Yeah, because we took a break and we actually kind of started in this spring.
Yep.
Late spring. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So this is 75. Yeah.
That's a pretty good number, though.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good number of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
How's everyone doing tonight? Besides trying to think of what the question I asked everybody before we started.
Exactly, which is like the question that I
question
can't
of the night.
See the response.
What is the greatest debut album of all time? So what band has the best debut album of all time? We were talking about debating it before we started recording. That's why we were a little late. Happy 75. Yeah, 75 I guess is a milestone.
Yeah, 75 is a milestone.
Yeah. We're almost not even close to completing the Cosmere. It's still
also a good year. So 75, good year.
75. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the only album I came up with just off the top of my head and I had said was Kanye West, as problematic as he is. He did have a great first album.
College Dropout.
And then we were talking about other ones. And then I was thinking
Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction was the one I first mentioned. But
right. And then you mentioned the Metallica one, which I can't remember the name of, but I remember the cover.
Yeah. Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die was a good one. Had Big Pop on it and everything.
And I was thinking Nirvana's first album was actually pretty good. It was different, but it was
different.
It's still, I mean, you got to think about it.
It wasn't Nevermind. Nevermind was a huge album. But
yeah, but
was it what was the first? Was Nirvana's debut album? It was In Vitro.
Oh, give me a second. I literally, because I was just like looking at other stuff, and I saw the album.
It was.
I have no idea.
Bleach. There you go. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, I know all these bands, but I don't know all the albums. Like, I mean, I've heard all the ones that you guys are saying. I just don't know which ones come first or middle.
Right.
Or...
That's the challenge. And of course, we come from a different era where it was like, you bought the album, right? You didn't buy a single. You could buy singles, but really,
Dark Side of the Moon was not Pink Floyd's debut album.
Yeah, we were talking
about that. It's a great album, but that's not their debut.
Yeah, Alan and I were literally talking about that too right before the recording. We were like, I was like, Pink Floyd, and he was like, nope, that's not the first album. I was like, yep, he's right.
Yeah,
it definitely was not
their first album.
Yeah.
What about Queen? What was their first album?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oof. I can't even tell you. They had so many friggin' albums. I didn't realize how many albums they had. Yeah,
the discography of Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's first album was Hyper at the Gates of Dawn. Was Pink Floyd's first album.
Okay, I would have never gotten that.
Hell, had one single that was called Flaming, which I never even heard.
You never would have gotten that.
Yeah, that
Nine Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. 9 Inch Nails, prolific. I mean, that dude, Trent Reznor, just puts out all of his stuff is always fire. So I remember that album though. Yeah, but nowadays stuff comes out. I don't know anything about the album. I just look at the songs I like. I consume them as they come out. Like a YouTube video comes out or something like that, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And I'm like, you just don't pay attention to the album nowadays. So
yeah, Queens didn't have any hits on their first album. It was just a self-titled.
Yeah, I guess that's really not surprising, honestly.
Yeah, their first that was Keeping Yourself Alive, Doing All Right, Great King Rat, My Favorite King. These are Queen songs that I never even heard of. So a lot of bands start out with like kind of like mediocre or not. They haven't found their little niche yet. So it's like rarely you have like a really good debut album. But anyway.
Oh, that's a good one. Is that their first album, Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park?
Okay.
I mean, if it is, that was actually a pretty good album. I did like that. Yeah. I was into Linkin Park back in the day. I was definitely listening to the stuff they put out.
Okay.
Good one.
Yeah.
But again, I want to see these I want to see these
recommendations
answers coming in. Yeah, I want to see.
I mean, I still think.
I mean,
like I said, I'm not like a gigantic Guns N' Roses fan, but Appetite for Destruction is like. There's so many
knows
classics.
That album,
so, yeah, it's, as far as the debut album goes, it's.
I remember, like, I used to steal my dad's Appetite for Destruction CD all the time. I just like take it out, put it in my little disc jockey Walkman thing, and then I just put the case back up there, and he just didn't even realize I had it. It was great.
Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath's debut album was one of the ones that was up there. But yeah,
I remember. I mean, this is back in like what is it, high school or middle school? I can't remember the year. Anyway, but I just remember we used to be like on these trips and stuff, music trips, and they would sing the entire album like start to finish on the bus. I mean, that's how like big it was. I mean, every song, they knew it. Yeah. Oh, no, Beastie Boys' first album was Beastie Boys' first album the one with the plane on it?
No, that's License to Ill. No, that wasn't their first.
That wasn't that one?
No, that was their second album. I think their first album
that album swept through everything.
Because you got to think they did start. It wasn't until Def Records picked them up. So they started out like. Oh wait, let me see. Studio albums. Their first one was License to Ill. Never mind.
Ooh, Mary J. Blige. What's the 411?
No, you're right.
That album was great. That was her debut.
License to Ill was the debut.
That's
up there. Yeah,
that's got to be way up there.
That has Paul Revere. You got Brass Monkey, Party, Brass Monkey, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Yeah, that's
banger after banger.
That's
that one.
Solid.
Absolutely,
that's solid. License to Ill.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
I sing that song about like a whole bunch of different things in my life, but it's just like no sleep till, and then like whatever is relevant to me at the
time. till podcast. No.
Exactly. No sleep till artwork is done.
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah. Fun times. Well, that's my little distraction to get us started for the night.
Yes, so everybody.
Everybody
chime in, please.
Can chime in and tell us what favorite debut album was.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about some Cosmere though? This is not a debut chapter.
I guess. If we have to.
I'm the one that says that. But Tree took my spot on that one. Yeah, okay, if we got it. She's all reluctant.
Yeah. Talk about some maps. So chapter 24, the gallery of maps. We don't really talk about maps that much, but that's where we are. Dalinar standing in the King's Gallery of Maps. He's waiting on High Prince Royan to come meet with them because he has a proposition for him.
Maps. Yes.
Yeah,
reminded me of another song. That was their debut album. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And Maps is an earworm. So sorry, took us back into the
Carano.
Yeah, Carano. Yep, from the yes. They don't love you like I love you. Sorry, guys. I took us back to music. All right. Back to the lecture at hand.
So, High Prince Royan. Dalinar's waiting for him because he wants to talk to him about joining him on a joint plateau assault because they want to try this together. And Royan's just like and he wants to propose to him because he's won the fewest gem hearts. And Dalinar has a big army, so he's like, I haven't gone on these runs, but maybe if we try something together, this can help work together, unite show people that we can unite and can work together. And of course, he shows up and he's like, what? Why would I do that?
Yeah, he's trying to do that Captain Planet with our powers combined.
Well, now I'm singing "Come Together" in my head, and it's all your fault.
That's not the.
It is definitely our fault.
That's not the Beatles debut album.
Vibe today.
Come Together. It's off of.
Four gem hearts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Off later. Excuse me. Royan's also a little bit weary or kind of just about Dalinar's visions or his lapses of sanity during high school. That rumor's now spreading around camp.
Of course, after the last go around when he was like, observed and they're all looking at him incredulously. It's like there is no escaping it now.
Yeah. So
no more rumors.
Yeah, and he's pretty much like Ron's like, what's in it for me? Like, he's like, what about like, so we'll divide the sell the gem hearts or whatever, and we'll split the money because what about the shards? And Dalinar's like, what do you mean? Like, whoever beats the governor to the shard gets the shard. And he's like, I don't have shards though, so like, the chances of me getting a shard is like 0. So
if you ain't got no armor and you ain't got no blade, odds of you getting there, something new.
Yeah, and so Dalinar thinks about it for a second. He goes, well, what if I give you the first one that we find? And it's hard for him because he's already promised. So now he's made a double promise. He's promised his son the next set, and now he promises it to someone else too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, making too many promises, man. Making too many promises you can't keep now. So which Royan is very, very skeptical.
Right.
He's like, I don't believe you. Like, you're just gonna give me shards.
Yeah, he's not buying any of this though, really. I mean, he's entertaining it, but you can tell he's
why
not
would
serious.
Anybody give away power, right?
Right.
That's not their mindset.
And that's what he said. And he's like, well, why in the world would why is what's the benefit to you to give away all of this? And he's like, I want to try to unite everything and be this I don't know, person that everybody respects, et cetera, and nobody's going to buy this.
What's your angle?
Exactly.
Yeah, just made it look even more crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Plus, he has the seizure dreams and whatever,
Right.
People aren't buying this. They're like, I think he's on his way out.
Yeah. And then, at the end, Ryan's just like, I'll think about it.
Mm-hmm. Just placating him. He's patronizing him,
Yeah. Was this the chapter where he brought up fighting with Sadius's bridges and Rayon?
Yeah, it does come up in this chapter.
He says, if we work together, because it says well, why would we work together? It just because he talks about the plateaus being certain sizes. So just if I have more men doesn't mean anything. Because they don't fit that many on. So double the size of your army doesn't matter. But then Dalinar counters that with well, if you set these bridges, they're faster, and use my cavalry's better, and then your men are, if you take the best parts of everyone, we can create a better, stronger force.
Yeah.
If you take the chocolate and you take the peanut butter, and you put them together.
I was just wondering if you had any thoughts when he said that, because I remember the first time that I read that part, and I was like, oh my god, Dalinar Kaladin crossover, maybe, I was you had a little excitement when he said that.
I still feel like the possibility of them, meshing up is still there, right? It's just there's too many opportunities for it to happen,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That just sounded so oh my god, it's right there.
It's the crossover you always wanted, but you're not going to get.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if the crossover happens. I mean, I love a good crossover, but if Brandon writes this the way I assume that he will, he's gonna delay it as long as possible because that's the way it always works. I mean, if you watch a TV show or a sitcom and it's or a movie and it's you have this, it's watching the Avengers. I mean, most of the Avengers movie, they're not together. They're in strife and blah, blah, blah. They don't come together until the very end of the movie when the alien forces come down.
It totally was a little tease because
of course. Yeah,
so probably going to have the same reaction as Rayon. I keep want to call him Rayon. I know that's some kind of poison.
No, Rayoden is Elantris.
Rayoden. Yeah.
So
this is Royan.
This is Royan.
Roy. Can we just call him Roy?
We can call him Roy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rob Roy. His Rob Roy. He's Rob Roy now. This is Rob Roy.
His mama called him Roy.
Roy.
Yeah. So after Royan leaves, Adolin comes in a few minutes later. And Adolin asks Dalinar, how'd the meeting go? He's like, yeah, it didn't go well. It's pretty bad. Adolin's like, well, I'm here to tell you Sadius is outside, and he wants to come in and investigate everything. And Adel's like, should we turn him away? And Daliner's like, no, that would make it look even worse. Like we're trying to hide something. But at the same time, like Daliner's like, this isn't good either. Like I don't like. But he thinks back to his vision. Trust Sadeas. He has to trust him. You know?
Yeah, but he's starting to doubt it though. You can hear him. He's got the nugget of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, why?
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe I am going crazy. Maybe this is all,
Well, Adolin actually brings it up. He's like,
oh yeah,
he's like, these stupid hallucinations. Like you actually like, you're going crazy. Like he's like, now like, do you think I didn't think that myself already? Like, but they are true. And Adolin's like, no, your visions are just imaginations.
Now the confrontation. He's he's like, now I got to take my pimp glove off and hit you with it. He just takes them off and he's like, kid glove's gone. Papa, let me tell you some things. And he just rattles it off. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
It's harsh to hear. I mean, but the thing is though, it's something so important for him to hear because instead of hearing the murmurings, which his son obviously has been exposed to all of that, to hear it from his most trusted, family member, basically, it's like, okay, well, let's put all cards out there and let's just talk about it,
Yeah.
And talk about the perception of it too,
What do you think is going to happen with Sadeas and Dalinar? Any predictions?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have any predictions on that. I'm curious to see what happens the next time it comes up, but all he needs is one thing to validate what he's seeing.
Right.
And right now he's got no way to do that validation. He could go back and talk about whatever is happening, but if what he's seeing is visions from the past, that's stuff that he could be picking up from a book or whatever. Sure. The only way he's going to really come to fruition for him is if something happens in the future that he's able to help either stave off, avoid, whatever. That is the thing that's going to validate these visions. But until that happens, I mean, they're going to always treat him like he's going insane, slowly going, out of commission.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think they're real? Do you think we should trust them?
Trust the visions.
I don't know what the sources are, but again, I don't really know enough about the world. I don't know enough about the world that we're in. I mean, I still have 3 million questions about Spren.
Well, ask. And I'll say sure. And shrug.
Why am I going to ask a million questions? You're like, hey, have you ever wasting breath? Ask me 1,000 questions.
Shouldn't say that stuff I'm not going to answer.
Because you're not going to answer any of the questions. I have so many freaking questions about Spren. And I'm like, and there's like this Spren are always showing up. There's always a Spren for everything. There's anticipation Spren now. And there's trepidation Spren. And I know I'm not using the right terms. Wind Spren, rage Spren, rot Spren. There's
Glory
so many different. I mean, and so it's and then some of them they can see, and some of them
we
can't see.
We talked about Glory Spren in the last chapter here.
Yeah.
Again, I started thinking about writing down all this Spren, and then I was like, why? What good does it do me? Because I feel like there's going to be the eyelash Spren is going to show up, and then
don't forget the pinky nail.
Right. The hangnail Spren.
The hangnail Spren. Oh man, that sounds rough.
He cackles a lot.
There's a reason why we cover our safe hands.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yes.
The sty in my eye, Spren.
Anxiety, Spren.
I have a lot of those.
Yeah, the lactose intolerant Spren.
Those too.
He's dangerous. There's the slightly inebriated Spren.
Drunken Spren.
Stop talking about my life alone.
I love it. Thanks, Tree.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's how we end this chapter. Because Dalinar just tells Adolin to leave. He's like, I'm done talking to you. Get out. We did skip over the little epigraph, which was one line, which didn't make any sense. So I skipped over it. Neither point makes things I have written to you untrue. That's all it says.
Yeah, I didn't
Means
remember
nothing.
that there was that because it was like glossed. It was like such a quick thing, like and it goes right into the chapter.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
Neither. What'd you say? Neither point
makes the things I have written to you untrue.
Okay. Neither.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
So the previous thing was you have accused me of arrogance in my quest. You have accused me of perpetrating my grudge against Reyes and Bavadin. Both accusations are true, and then neither point makes the things I've written to you untrue.
Oh,
so it's a letter, so you take that. So
right. Again, we've got to make sure we go back at some point in time
and read the whole thing. Yeah. Makes more sense when you read it all.
Sure. Well, just like
it still doesn't make sense until
just like in Mistborn,
until you finish later books and go back and like, oh, now it makes sense. So yeah.
Yep.
So anything from this chapter before we moved to 7 years ago? Flashback.
I don't remember enough about. Don't remember enough about this one to.
Right.
Was it really 7 years ago this time?
It was 7 years ago.
Oh goddamn.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't quite that far back.
Yeah,
that's all. The next. Now I did catch this one. I was like waiting for the obitugraph. Well, I'm calling them that, even though they're not obitugraphs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I was waiting for that, and all it does is like 7 years earlier, or whatever the phrase is, and then it's like it just breaks right into the chapter. I was like, oh, I guess that's it.
Yep. Yeah,
the chapter's not called 7 years ago.
Yeah, the chapter's called The Butcher. Chapter 25.
Oh, that's right. It's called The Butcher. Yes, I remember that.
7 years ago.
Oh man, that's. I don't like this butcher term, but we'll get into that.
We'll learn more about it later. Yeah. So, Cal's in his shop and overhears some villagers, and they're speaking poorly about his fam, and
rude.
I mean, so somebody dies. He tries to save him. Now, of course, it is a person of importance. Tries to save him, and then because he doesn't, they're like, "Man, he killed him."
But he stole the spheres too.
Oh, and then stole the spheres, right?
Yeah.
I had some anger sprin show up.
And then some slightly inebriated sprin, or
no, I was working out, so I had the sweat sprin.
The sweat sprin. Nice. And they're suspicious about how Liren can write. He's like, he's a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Write or read.
I'm sure he wrote the letter or whatever to decree him as heir, to get his inheritance or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. And Cal goes to meet with his mother, Hasina, who tells him not to hate the villagers and for repeating what they've heard.
Well, he really wants to be. He wants to be out of this whole racket that they're in. He's like, I need to be over there fighting with them and training and the thing. Now he's only 13th this time, by the way. So why he's talking about, armament, blah, 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 I don't get. And then he goes into the whole deal about, his mom trying to align him with the little girl, the light eyes, to see if there's a possibility they may hook up. And interestingly enough, he sits there and strings it out in his mind. He's like, oh well, if we were to get together and then had kids, if we had kids who had light eyes, they would rank higher than me. My own kids. I'm like, wow, man, this society.
Yeah.
So jacked. So jacked.
It's a messed up society.
Yeah.
Anyway. And he's still being torn between being a soldier and a surgeon. There's part of him that wants to, follow in his dad's dreams and dad's footsteps. And part of him that's like, that's not what I want. I want to be a soldier. And I want to go fight battles.
I just want to dance, Dad.
I just want to dance.
I just want to dance. And then the mom's like, don't go outside because you get leathery skin and it'll mess you up and you get old quickly. And then she's outside doing stuff. And he's like, well, how come you got to be outside working and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you spend your spheres doing, taking care of this stuff, other ways. And she's like, saving all the spheres, saving all our spheres for you.
There's a lot of movies. There's a lot of movies that do this whole dad, son dynamic. I mean, Zoolander got the black lung pop.
This guy, he went to a Zoolander reference. Okay,
I got the black lung pop. There's a bunch of them.
How many times have you watched Zoolander, Alan?
A lot more than I want to admit. It's good.
You know, I love Zoolander so much, but I love Will Ferrell's character so freaking much.
Seen it once.
I mean, Will Ferrell, he pulls off insanity so much. What's his name? Mufatu or
Mufatu? Yeah.
Okay.
And he invented the piano tie.
I love everything about every time he shows up on screen. I'm like, God, this guy is so funny. I love him so much.
Yeah, Will Ferrell's pretty great in everything.
In everything, all the time.
Yeah. He plays some good.
He's an entertaining man.
Yeah.
The most underrated thing though is when he dies in Austin Powers, and he's in that chair and he gets sent down, and he's explaining how he's being killed. He's like, "Oh, the fire is now on my leg." And he's like just going into this detail, but he's still like living through it, and you're just sitting there awkwardly listening to him explain how he's being killed. Anyway, he was off screen and he was still hilarious. I love this
guy. Yeah. Anyway, so Cal is torn, surgeon. But now there's a big bustle because there are rioters approaching. And it is the new city lord.
Oh yeah, this caravan of just it seems like the Prince Ali caravan and the Aladdin man. With 50 fakers, his brass band is more. 40 fakers, his cooks, his bakers, his birds, the warble on key. Make way for Prince. Sorry.
Very good.
Hey, I like that movie a lot.
If this discussion about music earlier was Disney music, I'd have a lot more things to say.
Oh,
that was like,
bring it.
I'm
what
such
you got?
a Disney adult.
Yeah.
So what you got on that?
I don't know now. But now I have pressure.
No,
where do I start?
Oh, go. You started.
Favorite Disney musical?
Karaoke is like my jam. I could sing.
Disney karaoke is your
what's your favorite Disney musical cartoon? Like which one?
My favorite Disney
like that has the best songs. Is it Lion King, Little Mermaid? Is it
Hercules, probably.
Oh, Hercules is a good one. Okay.
Hercules. Man, in Vogue, they wrecked that album. It was fire. I liked everything about it. Man. Because what were they? They were the what were the three ladies called? The Fates?
The Muses? Yeah.
No, they're Muses.
Then there's like the ones that sing all the time, and those are the Muses.
The ones that sing all the time, they're the Muses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was in Vogue, I believe, that sang that part. And they were like that was good. Like they were like at the pinnacle of like their singing abilities and stuff. But
yeah,
I can still sing
like almost every song from that movie.
It's a great movie. Now the one that that I got put on by my wife was Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yes, I love that one too. I made everybody watch that. Like anyone in my family that come over to visit, or my friends, you haven't seen this movie, we're watching it.
I see why it wasn't popular at the time, but you go back and rewatch it. That movie is fire through and through.
Phil Collins did Tarzan, right? Phil Collins did
Tarzan.
He did Tarzan, right?
Yeah.
And Eartha Kitt actually had a song that was cut from that movie. And if you ever get a chance to watch a YouTube video, somebody took like some raw footage, animation footage, and I think it's called "In the Out of the Light" or "Out of the Sun." I can't remember the name of the movie. The song is fire. I like everything about that movie. I mean, who's the guy that Paul? No, not Paul Newman. Oh, look, I cannot remember the guy that sang the songs for Emperor's New Groove. Great movie, great soundtrack.
Yeah,
have at you.
Yeah, I don't remember there being lots of like. It wasn't like super musical. Like not every
super
scene
musical.
Was, like, sung. Yeah, there was like the Cusco song in the beginning, and
the Cusco song at the beginning is the best song, sang by the guy whose name I cannot remember right now.
I don't think there was any other ones, though.
Eartha Kitt didn't get cheated a song.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Prince Ali, our Bright Lord Rashon, arrives.
Little Mermaid.
Mighty is he.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Aladdin. I know that joint up and down, back and forth.
Yeah. Aladdin was one of my favorite movies too, but not for like music so much.
Well, see, now was like I was playing music at Disney, so every so often I would have to play like a bunch of like music. So like they would give us the sheet music and we'd have to play like.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that.
So I used to, that was my thing. I was playing on the Tomorrowland stage, and I would like sit there and have.
That's
to,
cool. Oh my god, I would love that. So I used to play an orchestra.
I still can play trumpet a little bit. I in fact, I just bought a flugelhorn about 1.5 years ago. So I'm like still every so often I break it out.
Clarinet to Disney World.
You said you play clarinet, Tree?
And viola.
You play clarinet and viola? Very cool. My twin sister played clarinet.
Nice.
Yeah, good deal.
I was a drummer. I was a drummer.
Drummer, man. If only I had the space for that, and then an enclosed.
My set used to be awesome. I sold my set years and
soundproof room, basically. Yeah. The only drumming I did was rock band.
Drum's really loud. Yeah, no, I had a really awesome set. Really nice cymbals. Really, really cool set. But I sold it all years ago. Years and years and years and years ago.
You sound like me when I sold my trumpet, which I am so disappointed. I sold this Mount Vernon Bach, which now goes for like $15,000. I gave it away because I was like, I don't want to play trumpet no more. Now I'm like, why in the world?
I never
That's
played
what you do when you're dumb and young.
Yeah.
I haven't played my viola or clarinet in years, but I still have both of them, and I've been thinking about getting back into viola at least.
Cool. I love a viola.
I picked it up like a few months ago, and it sounded awful.
Well, it's gotta be like conditioned, you know.
It needs probably to be like restrung and all that stuff. But oh my god, it was so bad.
Yeah, I never did like marching band or like played drums in like high school band or anything like that. I started playing drums when I was in college, and then after college I played with a local band at bars and stuff like that for a little while. But did it for a couple of years, and then I was like, you get a free bar tab and like $100, and that was your cut as the drummer. I was like, sweet.
Alan, you may remember this, but over on Queen Street there used to be a place, Goodfellas.
I remember Goodfellas well.
And they used to have an open mic.
Yep.
And so every so often I would go in there and play trumpet on open mic night.
Okay.
Play a little bit.
The old Schooners used to have open mic, and I would go play drums there sometimes.
No kidding. I didn't know the Schooners did. Yeah, in the old location.
Yeah. Location. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd go play drums there.
Good deal.
It was fun. Fun times back when we were young lads.
Back when we were youngins. Little squirts.
Yep.
Youngins like Kaladin in this chapter we're supposed to
Oh yeah. That's right. We're reading a book.
We are reading a book. Yeah. So City Lord, Bright Lord Rashon arrives. And he takes one step out, doesn't say a word, and everybody's like with bated breath, just like and he's like, meh. And turns around and gets back in his cart. He's like,
well, but my man tries to come up and he's like, oh, hey, it's me. And he's like, oh,
you're the reason
I'm here because you killed the dude.
And now I have to come to this.
You can tell how much respect he has for the profession. He's like, you killed the dude, then immediately turns around and then quickly come pick up the stairs, put everything away. They're like, that's enough of that. And he gets back inside of his. It's not a palanquin. It's just a carriage.
Carriage.
Right. Yeah. He's like, I'm out of here. To the whatever domicile.
Yeah.
Take me there.
And at the very end, I guess they Lyrid and Senior talking, and Kaladin overhears them. They says, well, they said, I guess they start talking about a card game they play where you cast not card game, but I guess the dice. Yeah, it's a dice game.
It's like a dice game.
It's a dice game, and the tower and the queen are the two, like a losing move and a winning move. But if you have one of each, then you have what's called the butcher, where you don't know, and we just cast the butcher.
And it makes no sense because it's like, okay, well, if you get the butcher, then it depends on what play you play and the play of the other people. And I'm like, that's every play. There's. Why would you call it that? The butcher.
I don't know.
Sounds ominous.
It's a made up game for that doesn't actually exist.
It sounds like the what's the game and Wheel in the
Wheel of Time?
Wheel of Time.
Snakes and Foxes or
there
Stones.
You go. The one that Matt is so good at.
Yeah. Snakes and Foxes and and Stones. Is the other
sounds like
everything. That. He's perfect and I love him.
Well, the dice game that Matt's good at is 5 Crowns.
Name a person that doesn't like Matt.
Yeah.
There's a few.
There's a few people that don't
get out of here. There's people that don't like Matt. I mean,
I know. I don't remember them. I put them out of my mind because
they
get blocked and
exactly.
I would put him in a coffin. Pun. Sorry. Go ahead.
But
hey, this is drum thing.
That was good timing with the smoke.
Anyways,
you were a drummer. You have excellent timing.
Yes, excellent timing.
Yes, until it gets to very difficult times, because you try to maybe play like 7/4 or something like that, and I'm like
7/4, 7/16 time.
Wait, they make you count up to 16? Oh my god, I didn't know drummers could do that.
Nope, we can't. We just at that point it becomes jazz, so we just
Or
don't.
7?
They're
We just start freestyling stuff.
Just play with something. He's doing stuff, and they
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
What they say, if you can keep a beat, you can play rock music. If you can't, play jazz. That's what the trial.
That
makes
checks.
sense.
Look, as a jazz guy, completely checks.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Offbeat. No,
And we appreciate it because it means that you're responding to us playing. So really, we kind of appreciate it. You're paying attention.
Yeah, keep time if you're doing rock music. 4 to the floor. 4/4.
Right.
So, yeah. Or occasionally do like the Animals, House of the Rising Sun, do some 3/4. But that's anyway.
Just the 30-second notes on the hi-hat.
Yeah, there's not a lot of 7/4 time songs. I mean, like Money by Pink Floyd's a 7/4 time.
Oh, and shoot, I thought you were talking about general music.
In general music there is, but like I'm talking about like rock, like popular songs. Like I know Money is 7/4. That's like one of the Pink Floyd's Money.
I think what
7/4
songs I even know of.
But you just count
all I
that
can
as
think
a
of is
3 to
Take
4.
5 right now. I can't even get Take 5 out of my head right now.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
All right.
Fun times.
Man, we keep going back to music.
Yeah.
It's just a musical night.
This is a musical
It's a
episode.
very, very musical.
This is our musical
We even get some
interlude.
music in the next chapter.
I know.
Yeah, a little bit. Are you ready for the next chapter? Because this is how we end with the
Did we miss anything in this? Okay, so
Probably.
No. We got to the end of it. Well, the only thing actually I was going to bring up is just the younger brother. I like how he's just super excited.
Yeah, he is. He's so excited.
Cute. He didn't even care that he's being made fun of and whatever else. And his brother's like getting ready.
Ian's awesome.
Ready to be like, no, we got to go and do some other stuff. I'm gonna come back for your ass later. You know, that kind of thing. Standing up on the drum on the barrel.
Yeah,
you can see and everything. Thought he was cute anyway. Just
Kaladin made sure he didn't touch any of his brother's rocks.
Right. He was really, respectful of that. So it's like he's a good big brother.
Yeah.
So far.
He's the best big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good. Ready for chapter 26? Stillness.
See.
The Cosmere the Musical.
Cosmere the Musical. That's what we're doing.
Didn't we talk about that with another book? Oh no, that was someone else talked about that, I think.
Oh man, I do like this though. Cosmere the Musical. We're basically my crazy ex-girlfriend. That's all we're doing. Yeah. We're just gonna break out in song every so often.
I love it.
Stillness. I am being chased. Your friends of the 17th Shard, I suspect. I believe they are still lost, following a false trail I left for them. They'll be happier that way. I doubt they have an inkling what to do with me should they actually catch me.
What's the 17th Shard, Alan?
I don't know. That's interesting, isn't it?
Thought I could get him real quick there.
Look, I'm trying to find out what the first shard is.
Yeah.
The shards.
I don't know.
We'll get to the shards eventually. But we got shard blades.
I really don't know, Alondo.
We got shard blades. I mean, we got, shard adjacent things, but they must be very special if you've actually got them numbered.
We talked about it in Mistborn. They talked about the shards.
What?
Shards.
Really?
In Mistborn?
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate?
When Vin ascends to deity for a second and talks to Ruin.
Are you talking about the but those shards though I thought were the shards of that broken bowl that they were talking about. Was that not the same type of shard?
No, I think they did mention shards because I brought it up and because I remember we brought it up in the episode and you're like, and I was like, this is gonna become more important when we get to Stormlight. and it was just one of those this is 2 years ago we talked about this, but I was like, they're like shards.
It's been even longer since I read Mistborn, so I do not remember this at all.
I cataloged this.
It's a throwaway line from Mistborn where they talk about shards, but anyway.
Okay, so they're bull shards. The 17th bull shard.
Bull shard, yeah. So it's
because again, when you say shards in Mistborn, that's all I remember was that there was like this pot or bowl, and it was shattered.
It shattered. Yeah,
and it had pieces of metal on it.
Yeah,
and that's the shards. When you say shards, that's all I remember is that. So that's all I can go off.
There was something.
So it was another reference.
Okay, and I think there was also in the epigraphs that Sazed had for the Hero of Ages, where he talks about it. But yeah.
So you keep reminding me. I need to go back and reread all the epigraphs from those books.
Yeah.
We should just have a special episode.
I am unfortunately the Hero of Ages. So Stillness. We're back with Dalinar. So he's being read to. Brightness Litna is reading the book called The Way of Kings to him. Renarin's there as well. Dalinar's just it usually comforts him, but it's not really comforting him right now. It just is reminded him of his arguments with Adolin, and he's personally beat himself up about the nature of his visions and about everything he's gone through. Any thoughts on reading this book called The Way of Kings within the Way of Kings? We have a book within a book.
Bookception.
I know, it's definitely Bookception. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. Dalinar tells Rhaenyn that the High Prince Eladar refuses his offer of an alliance, just as we found out Rhaenyn did. And then he hears horns outside. And, he's like, it's close enough plateau for us. We're actually the best ones suited for it. You know what? It would be good for the morale of the men. I know I said I wouldn't run on runs anymore until I figured out how to unite them, but just give the order. We're going on a run.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Going on
an adventure.
We're going on.
And he needs a win. He needs a win right now.
He does.
He's been taking some L's.
Men are super happy about it. Like, we're gonna go for bridge run. They're like,
you need to get their like enthusiasm up. I mean, they've already got, they're questioning his authority and leadership, and he's. And what did he say to pump himself? He's like, I'm the Blackthorn.
Yeah.
He's got to I got to do this.
Right.
And they talk about the whole process of him putting all the armor on. It starts at the bottom because it's so heavy, and it just, the shard plate, and it's like, it goes up, and he explains how it's like, they don't wear like a mail, like chain mail underneath it. It's just that they have it like so intricately like together and pieced and everything that and then it's like, it kind of creates like an impenetrable
it's like plate
covering
armor,
right?
You talking about shard armor? It's like plate.
Yeah, but I like the way they describe how it's actually put together, because you don't need chainmail underneath if you just have the shards kind of overlapping the right way. And then he talks about it's like the skirt part of it, which is like kind of like the near like the cod piece area, I guess. And then he just keeps describing putting all that stuff on. I'm like, holy crap, this stuff has got to be crazy heavy. It's gonna be insanely heavy. So,
but talk about the sharp plate. I mean, but no,
sharp plate.
But it's because it's all Stormlight enhanced.
Right. But I'm just saying, though, in general, somebody's picking this up and putting it on.
Yeah.
You're picking this up, and you're like,
it's like the Iron Man suit. You just step into it, it just clicks around, like
right. I mean. So again, somebody's picking this stuff up, and I'm like, them jokers got like 4 arms for days. They're
they ain't missing an arm day.
Nope.
Taleb is Taleb, one of the generals or whatever, Dalinar's commanders, is there, and he's actually pressing Dalinar as well for the idea of like Sadeas making bridgemen run versus the machines, and Dalinar's not a big fan of this idea, but he's like, fine if you recruit and train one crew, but like we're. And
he said that's the mark. What he's supposed to do is like encourage his men to come up with ideas. And so initially he's like, get that nonsense out of here. And he's like, you can do one. I'll allow you one, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know? I like that. Like, don't completely crush these people's like spirits. Yeah. Like Dalinar is trying to push like innovation and new ideas, right? So to crush someone else that comes to you with a hey, this could possibly work immediately is just not very on brand, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it.
Sadeas then comes in to interview Dalinar's soldiers. You know, and Dalinar's like, we're about to go on a bridge run. Jai's like, is that more important than what I'm doing? He's like,
sure. It's like basically getting visited by the health inspector. You know, you're like
on your busiest day, like
this guy. He's coming in there and he's like wiping stuff down. He's like, how old is this lettuce?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it's like super busy. Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. It's always, yeah. I remember when I was a bartender, this is years ago, we had ABC, which is our alcohol control. We had undercover agents come in trying to bust us because they come in during busy times.
Oh, of course.
But we spotted them right away. They were so obvious. And they kept on trying to press it. And we're like, get out. Like, we don't have time right now to go through your little shenanigans. Like, it was like they sent a girl in that, I think she was like 18. Of course, 21's drinking age here. And, you know, and she was like, try to order. And I was like, I need some ID. And then she's like, comes with some, I was like, oh, no, get out. And like, then the agent comes up behind her. It's like, oh, it's Lobo. And I was like, no, we don't have time for this shit. Like, we're busy.
I've told the story before that when I was like a young guy working for the Commissioner of Revenue, I got to be the dude on a raid. And they put me in there and I sat at the end of the bar and had to do the little clicker and track how many people were like came in because they were like underreporting their cash sales.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that when we do a raid, typically it's like it'll be the Commissioner of Revenue, the Fire Marshal, ABC, and I cannot remember the last one, but it's like it'd be like multiple people, and we will shut down a bar. We will chain the door, the whole deal. I only did it one time, but it was kind of exhilarating because I was like, you know, involved in it. And when it came in, it was like when they shut it down, it's like you're shut down. And then it's like, is there people were walking out? There's like a guy with a clicker checking all the people and making sure that like they didn't, you know, exceed the number of people who were supposed to be in, you know, occupancy, capacity, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, them raids are kind of rough though. I mean, for the bar. Yeah, because for me it was like nothing. I mean, I just couldn't drink, and I was like, oh, I'll just have a ginger ale.
Yeah,
which probably gave everything away. But
everything away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Sadeas is investigating during the worst time possible. So he decides to follow Dalinar and his army out. So Dalinar Sadeas had this little talk about the thrill and things like that. It's a little comfortable moment. Yeah.
Pain in the ass, Sadeas.
Pain in the ass. But we get there. So the next scene is we're here at the actual battle itself.
Oh, wait. One quick thing about that.
Mm-hmm.
He says something about the loyalty of Dalinar's men. And I appreciated that fact. I think that was it was a throwaway thing at the time, but it says something about the fact that even though everybody knows the murmurings about his visions, blah, 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 that they still were not betraying him, that they were super loyal to him. And I was like, that says something about the caliber of the people around him and, you know, what he's instilled in them in terms of values. So I appreciated that was said in this interview, you know, when that's interaction between the two of them. So I was not sure I said something about that.
Yeah. And then we get the cool action scene where they finally get to the plateau. And
first he gets his plate on, all that kind of stuff, and then he takes off running, just like and then he just jumps up in the air, and it's the reason why I changed my name, and does a superhero landing. Boom, and he just like shatters the land.
Well, he uses his arm to block all the arrows from his eye slit, you know, and like comes down and and it's like it's like right to hail.
No one can keep up with him because he's running so fast. He's like
just goes and sweeps across and kills a bunch of people at once, and just total death all around him.
I am Blackthorn. So yeah, he was on that adrenaline rush there for a minute.
It starts just cutting down and kicking bodies out of the way because he's just piling up bodies all around him.
Yeah, he's holding my beer.
Yeah,
hold my beer.
Old now, Adolin.
Yeah, and at some point he snaps out of it though. He looks around and sees all the death he's causing,
and he has like a moment of regret there. It's like, Tree, close your ears.
No.
Okay, he had like post nut clarity. That's literally what I thought. I'm sorry to be vulgar, everybody.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're
typically not that way.
I get it.
No,
I mean, I wouldn't call it
that moment of like,
I get it.
It was like he had that, and I was like, oh man, but in the middle of everything going on, I mean, he's putting himself and the people around him in danger.
Yeah,
doing that, and he's like just like looking down, and all of a sudden he's like noticing the blood and the chaos and the bodies that are like rendered, apart and everything.
All their eyes were all burnt out. And
he's like he's starting to like kind of has like that moment where he's like, oh man, I regret all of this, and then he's like, he snaps right back into it.
Yeah, he's like fights him back down.
He has to, right? Because he's in the middle.
But then he also hears a voice say something.
Yes,
it says life before death, and he like looks around like no one's near him. He's like, what the fuck was that?
So now stuff that because it seemed like some of the other stuff that he was saying or that he was recalling was maybe coming from visions previously, but he was recalling it.
Yeah.
This is the first time, unless I have forgotten something, where something has come like kind of from the visions, but it's like happening right now.
Not during a storm, yeah.
Not during a storm. And I'm like, oh no. So now does that mean it's permeating his like everyday interactions? And what's that going to do to him and the perception he has? And what if he starts having like these reactions now in a no storm situation?
Yeah.
That could be bad for him. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, so eventually Adolin joins at some point too and sweeps around, dices a bunch of guys too, and the two shard bearers are just kicking ass, taking names. They win the fight eventually.
And his son, he's like talking about how well his son, like his stances and stuff, he's like one of the best.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah,
exactly. So they win the battle. Adolin goes to take the gem heart, and Dalinar turns eastward towards the origin. So eastward's where the storm comes from. They call it the origin. And he notices that there's a group of Parshendi that have fled to a nearby plateau, but they haven't fled all the way, and they're just looking, and sees one larger Parshendi wearing all shard blade. And Dalinar's like, why didn't they join the fight? If they had a shard bearer, like why didn't? And then they turn and flee. But he's like, why didn't they bring the shard bearer in if they had one? Like,
I don't know what movie this reminds me of. There's some movie I've seen where I've seen that kind of scene where they look over in like in the other army. There's like some like crazy powerful thing, and it's like, why didn't it attack? And you're like more worried about
what's your game?
What's the strategy going on over there, right?
Yeah. What's happening? And that's how we end this chapter. I mean, so it's yep. Okay.
We
Fun
did it.
times.
All 3 chapters.
Did it.
And a whole musical.
And a musical interlude.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Oh no, I've been an animal. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The comment, oh no, I've been an animal, when Downer looks around.
Oh, right. Yeah. So interesting what's happening to him. Interesting with the Parshendi and what's going on there. What's your opinion of the Parshendi at this point? Because I mean, all we're seeing is one side of it, obviously. I feel like they're trying to, and I say they, I'm talking about the armies in this war, are trying to treat them as if they're like devolved, like not human, but normal people, I guess, in this world. But really they're not, because I mean, he talks about, he's like, oh well, what was it? It's like there was a Parshendi person that took care of.
Well, they have Parshmen, which are related to the Parshendi, and they're like the slaves of all
he
the
like
people.
refers to like
Light
there
Eyes.
was like a Parsondy woman or something that
Yeah,
There's a
like
Parsondy
his nanny or something.
That was a nanny
Was it
growing up.
nanny?
Yeah,
Okay.
They have a bunch of Parsons that are basically slaves that they have that are attendants for them. They don't fight for them, but they're basically
right.
Yeah,
So
they call them parchments.
It's really, I mean, this caste system they have is like really depressing. I mean, but it's no more depressing than what we've instituted in our terrible history on the face of this earth.
Sure.
But yeah, it's really, it's like they're all just trying to survive and do their thing, but
yeah,
there's I guess this whole assassination kicked off so much terrible strife. It means that they were already in a bad position if that's all it took.
Yeah.
To really set them off at war.
It's not a world that I would want to live in. Neither is Scadrial, like Mistborn, where the ashes always come in the sky and everything's kind of None of these worlds are really places where
I mean, I would want to live
maybe
in
Cell, maybe
Elantris.
I mean, I live in Elantris, so
well, Alan, that's what happens when you move a world.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what happens when you move a world. Yeah, Scadrial, yeah. But Roshar's not a nice place. It's a very brutal place.
Yeah. But it seemed like at the beginning of the book, not so much.
Yeah.
Like there was like some peace being brokered and what have you.
For 5 seconds.
Yep.
Is all of Roshar a bad place, Alan, though? Because I thought some places were nice. Like I just said, the Pure Lake sounds nice. I'd live there.
We haven't really gotten into Shinovar and stuff like that. But
it sounds pretty and calming and full of fish,
The Pure Lake did sound nice. We did see that in the interlude where the guy was just walking slowly through the lake.
I mean, there was some ominous thing that happened. I just
there has to be some non-war areas, right?
Oh, sure. It's a whole world. Yeah.
There's got to be good places. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like here in on our Earth, and it's like, oh well, if you want to get away from war, go to Tahiti, ride a wave.
If you've ever been military or Navy and stationed in Hampton Roads, where Orlando and I are from, it's even close here. You can go to Williamsburg, where it's really, really nice, or you can go to Portsmouth, where it's like
at least it's better.
Exactly.
It's better.
Portsmouth is nothing like
it used to be.
Early 90s Portsmouth.
Shattered Plains definitely don't want to be there.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now. I remember when I was first visiting New York City for business back in the day.
Oh, New York used to be rough.
So New York. Times Square used to not be like. I got mugged in New York. That's all I can say about that. I was on a business trip. I got mugged in New York City. And I was like not that far away from Times Square.
Most big cities have bad spots, but New York had a lot of bad spots.
Yeah, but New York used to have a lot of bad spots. And of course, I wasn't there back then, but there's a bunch of videos you can find online of like the 80s. There used to be like triple X shops and strippers and stuff, strip clubs and stuff all up and down Times Square, all around that area. It was like little Vegas, I guess, or something. I don't know what you would call it. There was no gambling, but it was like all of that stuff.
Other illegal games going on.
I'm sure. Yeah. But it was there were some seedy areas there. Now it's completely cleaned up. And of course you can't even drive in Times Square now. It's all pedestrian friendly.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what the Parshindi's game is here with not sending their shard bearer in, but
and unfortunately they were like trying to hack away to get to the
Gem Heart.
The Gem Heart, but they couldn't do it as quickly. Well, and I like the way they explained it. So you have to kill it with a regular weapon first.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can use your shard blade to cut through the rest of it quicker because now it's dead material.
Right.
And I find that
because it's phase through if it's
right, because otherwise it's not going to do much of anything. It'll kill whatever's inside, but it won't actually open it up.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't open it up until it's actually dead. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense now that you've explained it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
But I don't think they all use shard blades.
No, only shard blades. Yeah, shard blades are pretty rare.
Well, yeah,
because when Sadius goes, he doesn't have that, right? So anytime
it's a shard bow.
Right.
Oh yeah, that big bow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he
has shard plate. He doesn't have a shard blade.
Any of Kaladin's bridge runs yet?
Yeah,
with the big bow.
Yeah, Dalinar has shard blades, and Adolin, of course, does. But Sadius doesn't have a shard blade. He has a shard plate.
Right. Yes. Right.
Mm.
But a lot of people have plate, but no blade, or vice versa. But usually, once you have one, it's easier to get the other because at least you can have some. But yeah, trying to defeat someone with none is almost next to impossible. Because one touch and you're dead. Like it cuts through your soul. Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah. I guess my guess about that is like the shard bearer didn't come because they saw 2 other shard bearers on the other side. So they're probably like, not worth it. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. You bring that up. It's like, why are they holding back? And I think it's purely because they're trying to be in a observational position and notice patterns of their army, so that way they can really put together a really effective counter strategy.
Do you think also is because Dalinar's not been running these runs, like this new group was confusing them to them? I don't know. I'm just trying
to...
Because you think about, like, Sadeas usually shows up with his, but no one has a shard blade. Now you have 2 shard blades showing up at once.
Yeah, and see, this is a different mix of people though too. This is a different mix of armies. It's a different mix of armies, different mix of bridges. So it probably threw them off. So they were probably super prepared for one particular configuration. It threw them off, and they were like, not this time.
Yeah, that's true, because like especially if most of them don't have shard blades or shard plate either.
Observe and report.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Dalinar's army is like tight, like compared to everyone else's army. How Dalinar explains him as just kind of sloppy, right?
Yeah.
So, lots of differences.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts before we go to favorite character?
What song do you think they were singing when they were doing the battle?
I like the fact they explained all the songs. That's right. We are in Cosmere the musical because they were talking about the way they would sing, and they would sing a different way if they were trying to avenge somebody that was fallen. And they got super pissed when he was like
touched the dead body,
kicking at the bodies. And then they changed the song, and they were like, "I'm gonna fuck you in your ear."
Yeah, it reminds me of like how sailors sing while they, like, old navies and stuff like that, like
sea shanties.
And the reason why is so you're in unison, and that's why you sing on boats. And
that's why the Marines and all of them do it too.
Yeah, it's for unison. So you're all so when you're hoisting sails, it's
Yep. So when you're doing stuff, you just make sure we're all moving the same.
Sailor. What?
Maybe that's what they were singing.
Oh,
early in the morning.
Yeah, that's what they're singing, Drunken Sailor. It's 100%. Yeah. It's like the old thing from Wheel of Time. Like, what's the song that the lost song?
Do you know the song?
Do you know the song? It's yeah. Which everyone knows the song is Sandstorm by Darude. It's the China song from the 90s.
But it makes sense though.
It's Numa Ye. Numa.
Perfect.
That's the song they're singing while they're in battle.
Maybe it's a mix of Sandstorm and.
Well, I think it was that dude, the YouTube video that went viral.
Yeah, exactly.
The Numa guy.
All right, Peanut Butter Jelly Time. I think they might have been singing that. Peanut butter jelly time.
Peanut butter jelly the baseball
bat. That's the version you're singing.
Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Peanut butter jelly. Yeah, that's 100% the song. So
it's canon now.
Absolutely,
100% peanut butter jelly time.
Oh, it's definitely peanut butter jelly time. Just a big banana, just doing this. There we go.
That's what the shard bearer was doing.
That's why the shard bearer. He's the banana guy on the other plateau.
He's the banana dude.
He's the baby shark. Oh, that would have been a good song. That's what they switched to when they kicked the dead.
Don't get Alan started on the baby shark. Don't do it.
Of course, Baby Shark is ruined for me because I watched Ted Lasso, and that was they did, instead of doing Baby Shark, they did Jamie Tart because he was the guy that was the soccer player on that squad. And they were like, Jamie Tart.
The duck walked up to 11th stage. Yeah,
that makes me want to share my real name now because I got that a lot because my name is kind of very close to that name. Like first name and
Sorry,
last name.
it took me a second to put it together.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I had that a lot too when it came out. And I was like,
really? I can see it now that you said that.
Yeah. Today's not the day I will be sharing that on the internet.
No.
But
keep the safe hand covered. Keep the safe hand covered.
It is very close. And I also had to suffer.
Her name is written on the palm of her safe hand. So
so that's why we can't show it.
Not show it.
Her real name is Trivani Tree.
It is.
That's right.
Trivani Tree. Take the glove off, Tree.
Hey,
Stringfly.
That's only hands content.
Only
there,
hands.
My people.
We pay extra for that, all right?
You pay a lot extra for that.
A lot. All right,
we're talking about Patreons on Patreons.
Besides Tree Safe Hand, what's your favorite character?
I knew mine right off top. It's Tien.
Tien.
He's so cute. I love him. He's just so just lovable and
I know,
just innocent. And he's just like, I just want to just enjoy the thing. And I'm like, I love it. So Tien's my guy.
Okay.
My favorite is Gallant, the horse, who don't need no man handlers to get him out of the stable. He just goes.
Comes right.
Like, I got my own saddle. I got my own rope thing. I'm going.
Gallant is like, hold my hay.
Yeah, hold my hay. Exactly.
Gotta been there.
So he's my favorite character.
That's good.
Like it.
Yeah.
Good pick on that one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I don't know who else, because who else am I gonna pick? Sadia sucks. Orion sucks. Liren,
oh man,
Liren,
I don't even remember what happened with him.
Liren, he said like, hey, hi, Lord, and they're like,
Liren,
like you're the surgeon.
Dad.
Kaladin's dad. Yeah. Maybe Kaladin's mom. She had some nice little words to say. She was nice. Yeah, but
I don't know what to think about Liren yet.
Yeah,
me and Liren, I don't know.
Yeah,
I got mixed feelings about Liren.
Yeah. Well, next week we'll be only doing 2 chapters because that brings us to the end of part 2.
Yeah, I was wondering why you did that. So, are the next 2 chapters long? Is that the reason why you?
They are.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I was like, why didn't you just take us all the way out to the?
Oh no, they're long.
Okay. That would have been 5 chapters that we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
2 chapters make sense.
Yeah. Okay. So those chapter 27, 28. So we're doing Chasm Duty. That's chapter 27, and Decision. Chapter 28. Decision. Yeah. Choices. And then I think we're just doing interlude. No, we'll do more stuff the following episode. Yeah. Nice. Interludes. We get back to interludes because we're between parts. Yay. Anyway.
Actually, I'm excited for these ones.
Yeah. So these 2 chapters are fun. Chasm Duty and Decisions. Or Decision, not decisions. Decision. One single decision. Yep.
I'm sensing some Kaladin chapters.
Well, Chasm Duty sounds like a Kaladin chapter to me.
Sorry, I'm still deep diving on these debut albums, man.
Oh, yeah?
Missy, Elliott had a good one.
Oh, Missy?
Alicia Keys, she did have a good one. Songs in A minor.
Oh.
That was an amazing album.
Yeah.
C. And of course, Beastie Boys did show up.
Yeah, it is. License to Ill is their debut.
If I had known that was their first album, like definitively, I would have said it like a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a good album.
That's really De La Soul. Yes, that's a great one. Bad Bunny. I don't think I've ever listened to a Bad Bunny album ever.
So technically, the reason why they don't consider License to Ill. So that's their first studio album. They did put together a mixtape album. Before.
Oh, okay.
So
but everybody,
everyone, that's normal. And that didn't
Kanye West. All these guys did mixtapes back in the day, though.
So it's the first studio album is License to Ill. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. I don't know if I would go with that one. It was good.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Oh, D'Angelo, but of course that guy didn't put out a lot of albums though. Brown Sugar, that was a good one. Taylor Swift. I've never heard a single Taylor Swift album. So I don't know. Oh, Nas, Illmatic. Yes, that counts.
Okay. Yeah.
Kanye. I'm looking at the Rolling Stone list, by the way, just because I'm like, just checking. Led Zeppelin, which you talked about, Alan.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin, the original.
Yeah, that's number 27.
Yeah.
On their list. DMX, Fiona Apple, Pretenders. Okay. Now they put the Beatles, Please Please Me.
As the first album. Because I guess that's the first studio album. We do.
But it had okay. I still don't. I don't agree with that one because it has like a lot of covers. But
it does.
Okay, well,
yeah. Led Zeppelin 1 is.
Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin. That checks all day long.
Has Dazed and Confused on it? Dazed Confused.
Yeah, great album.
Isn't true. Anyway, cool times. Oh yeah, keep thinking of cool albums. And we'll do this again next week.
Yes.
Because it's
keep dropping them in the comments because I want to review all these and see if there's something I'm missing.
Yeah, drop more debut albums so maybe we figure out what the Parshendi are singing about. What's the Parshendi's debut album?
Oh, Appetite for Destruction is number 8 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 best debut albums. So you nailed a good one on that one.
Okay, I mean it has so many solid.
It's a good album.
It's a good album.
Yeah, you know what? I know it's recent. I mean, it was 5 years ago, but no, 6 years ago now. Billie Eilish. I mean, the album went freaking viral, crazy bananas. So yeah, I think that one checks.
That's a good one.
Oh, and sure enough, number 6, Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Of course.
Had to.
That makes sense.
Hey Joe.
What's number 1?
I'm at Wu-Tang Clan. And that's actually a great opening album. This number 4 is Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
3 is Velvet Underground. 2 is Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die. Great album.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta love it when you call him Big Papa, right? Number 1, believe it or not, is the Ramones.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never would have pinned that one.
I mean, it's got Blitzkrieg Bop on it. I'm trying to remember the other songs on that one now.
Yeah.
Beat on the Brat. Okay, Beat on the Brat. That's actually good.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want to sniff some. Okay, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't list all the songs. It's only 3 songs it lists.
Yeah.
So it must have to be. It probably has something to do with the fact that how much the album cost and then how well it
did. Yeah.
Right. So it's probably this returns on.
So I mean, if you're trying to put an objective lens to what's the greatest, you're probably looking at overall sales and things like that versus actual subjective opinion, which I enjoy better.
Like number 3 is the Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which I mean,
okay.
How
many people are singing any songs from Velvet Underground?
Yeah. What is?
I mean,
the radio.
I say Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang. I mean, I can. There's a whole bunch of people know like so many songs off that album.
Yeah.
I mean, Patti Smith Horses. That album had one song I remember.
Yeah. I think it has to do with album sales. Anyways.
No, well.
Anyways, we can be found on thecosmereads.com.
Yep.
Find all sorts of links. Go buy merchandise. Go join our Patreon. Support us. And all that good stuff. Join Discord, social medias, all that fun stuff. And subscribe, share with your friends. And it's pretty much, I think, all I got for this week. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching The Cosmere Reads.
Gosh dang, gosh, fresh. Gosh dang, gosh dang, fresh.